But you found the time to lie to me and tell Dee Dee that I am the one who got you pregnant. And it's clear to me that you foolishly fell in love with a cruel man who married a cruel woman, creating a cruel monster who almost took Maximilian's life. That sorry excuse of a man would still be alive if he had been a decent father. And how exactly do you plan to turn them against one another? Simple. You and I need to figure out how to make the Durvals distrust the Russos again. As for Rudell, he'll have to find a way to be angry at the same woman who tried to put his only child in prison. Are you sure you'll be okay, Shelley? I will be, Jeremiah. It's just that hearing that Finnegan Burke is no longer alive, now his son Keith has yet another charge against him. All it does is make me think back to that horrific day. It's just too much. Are you good, Ma? I'm not sure how to answer that, Bacho. What does that mean? Honestly, I'm surprised you're even asking me. When your news network broke the news that Finnegan Burke passed away, I imagined that you'd be in as much shock as I am. Actually, I feel pretty numb about it. Can't say I blame you, especially since he's the father of the monster who took your sister's life. Now that same monster has claimed another victim. How are you holding up, Vanessa? I really don't know how to feel, Max. Hearing about Finnegan Burke passing away brings all sort of thoughts into my head. Like what? Like how his passing could have been avoided if he wasn't so focused on keeping Key from facing the consequences of his actions. How he failed to make sure that his weapon was secure. And since he couldn't secure his weapon, we all almost lost our lives, but Ulysses the one who lost hers. Didn't we already have this discussion already, Zeke? You're not the guy who got me pregnant, so let's just drop it now. Nah, cause Dee Dee told me everything. She did what? Don't get mad at her, Yvette. This is your lie, and I want to know why you lied to my face. Owen, whatever reason you have for being here, then you need to understand that today is not the day. Don't get antsy, Jeremiah. I came here to call a truce. Are you saying that you'll admit to the trouble you've caused us lately? I understand that there's this tension between us, but I've also come to understand that you'll need allies if D.A. Russo ends up losing the election. Come on, Ma. Finnegan Burke isn't worth thinking about. Not anymore since he's no longer with us. I really wish it was that easy, Pacho. When Finnegan went into that coma, I knew there was a good chance that he wouldn't make it. But after hearing that he didn't make it, I feel so many conflicting emotions. What are you so conflicted about? Even though Keeve was the one who carried out his act of terror, Finnegan should have made sure that his son would never get access to his weapon. Because Finnegan shares the blame for what happened to Elissa. I can't help but feel so evil for what I'm thinking. Nothing is evil about you, Ma. Do you mean to tell me that it's completely normal that I'm relieved to hear that your loving, sweet sister wasn't the only one who lost her life at the hands of that maniac? I get where you're coming from, Vanessa. It's just that I can't find myself celebrating the fact that Finnegan Burke is no longer alive. It makes him Keeve's second fatal victim. Honestly, I don't even think anyone is celebrating this, except for Keeve. In that psycho-sick mind, he must think that he received another prize, since Ulissa isn't the only person whose life he took. As for Keeve, he doesn't deserve to be walking on this earth anymore. And soon, you'll let Keeve know how you feel when we face him in court in May. I'm so ready, Max. I cannot wait to get the chance to influence the judge to make Keeve pay with his life for what he did to all of us. For one thing, I didn't want you thinking that I wanted anything from you. How come, Yvette? Just because you come from money and my family don't? You thought I wouldn't try and pay child support? That's not what I'm saying, Zeke. So what you trying to say then? Forget it. I don't owe you any explanation. Besides, we wouldn't be in this situation if you had just left me alone in my room on Black Friday like I asked. This makes no sense, Owen. You've made it clear that you don't want us connected to your campaign because of our pro-life views. Now you're offering your support? Glad you brought that up, Jeremiah. You have a very controversial belief to a very controversial issue that very well might cost D.A. Russo the election. If that happens, the Russos aren't going to like it. What exactly are you trying to tell us? Again, we've already discussed how the Russos came after you before. What makes you think that they won't go after you again if the results don't go their way? You're not evil, Ma. Don't ever think that. The only evil people in this situation are the ones who's gonna end up in prison and the other guy who's burning in hell right now. I appreciate that you're trying to be rational, but still, something about this whole thing doesn't make sense. What doesn't make sense to you? Why did Terry reach out to you specifically when it was her son that took Ulysses' life? That's the thing, Ma. I think she reached out to tell me about Finnegan because she feels so guilty. And she didn't even reach out to tell her son that he ended up taking his father's life? Are you really surprised? She left town because of the damage her son caused. I get that, Pocho. But as a mother, I can't comprehend that she'd abandon her only child when I'd give anything to have Ulysses back. Seeing Keith get punished by losing his life is exactly what I wanted after he was taken into custody. Glad the two of us see eye to eye. The thing is, Vanessa, I'm not sure if we do. What do you mean, Max? Don't get me wrong. Keith deserves to lose his life after everything he put us through, and I feel a but coming. But after everything that went down, I wanted to see Keith pay with his life because I wanted vengeance, not justice. Hold on, don't try to blame me now, when you could have blamed me when we last had this conversation. You were adamant that I didn't get you pregnant because we wore protection. And don't you forget that you pointed out that protection doesn't always work. Black Friday was one of those times. So what, you was gonna keep this secret to your grave? I'm still trying to figure out why you're so upset right now. But I'll admit it since that's what you want so bad. Yes, Zeke, this baby growing inside of me is also your baby. Are you actually gonna step up and risk losing this shell by telling her that you're gonna be a dad? How many times are you gonna try to make a fool out of us? And how long are you gonna paint me as the devil? That's not what we're doing. Granted, it's very possible that the devil is using you as an instrument, which concerns me about your soul, Owen. But I know that you're trying to turn us against Heidi. All I'm trying to do is remind you how power-hungry and ruthless the Roosters can be. Besides, I'm certain that they only see you as a means to an end, unless they poured money into your project. Don't you worry about the house I'm trying to build, Owen. By God's grace, we've got more than enough money to bring this project to life. All right, hopefully the house will still be standing by the time I become district attorney. That's enough, Ma. Don't give yourself a migraine by trying to psychoanalyze Finnegan and his messed up family. Okay, I'll just focus on emotionally preparing myself for Keith's sentencing in the next couple of months. Do you not hear yourself, Max? It's not like the court is going to appoint you to take Keith's life as punishment. I get that, Vanessa. But when Keith caused all of that damage, I've never been so angry in my life. Neither have I. But Max, Keith almost took your life. He took Ulysses' life unjustly. The anger we felt was just, and I'm still angry. So am I, and I miss Ulysses every day. But I just don't want that anger to turn into pure hatred. My prayer is that I don't live a life filled with bitterness. Well, while you try to find peace of mind, I'll continue to struggle with bitterness over the fact that Keith took my best friend from me. I don't know what I'm gonna do about this event. Well, I know exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make sure that this baby doesn't grow up feeling like some dirty little secret that needs to be kept. Can you try and understand the spot I'm in? I just found out that I'm about to be a father, and that's the exact thing that will make me lose in the shell for good. Thank Dee Dee for that, Denzi, because I was more than happy to keep you clueless about this entire thing before she opened her big, manipulative mouth. Did you actually think this was gonna work? You don't think the baby would start asking questions when it gets older? Don't worry about my baby, Zeke. My son or daughter will grow up knowing that they can depend on their mom and their grandparents. Believe me, you'll be the least of my baby's concerns because my baby won't have a father, just like Dee Dee won't be my friend for telling you something that she had no business telling anyone. Just stay away from me and my baby. It's clear that you're not all in like I am.